Okay, so we are live with Larry Breau from MBCL, otherwise known as My Blockchain Life, former fighter pilot and miner extraordinaire. Thanks for joining us on CryptoTribe Live today, Larry.
Thanks for having me, Jay.
We're also joined by Sean Aware and a couple of people who are deeply into the mining world. We joke around that we have a money printing tree in our backyard for real. It's not just a myth anymore. You can actually create this for yourself. We're going to do our best today, everybody, to talk about the roses and the thorns, to really give people a good overlay and experience of what it is that we are doing here with the mining and how people can get involved. And Larry's just a phenomenal point person for us to be able to really deep dive into this world. So if you have questions, those of you that are on live, please put them in the chat. That's the beauty of being on these calls live, is you get to interface with a Q&A with Larry. And for those of you that are really interested and want to learn more, after this hour is over at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, there is a presentation call for My Blockchain Life, and that information is in the chat, and we will also put it below in our show notes for those of you that want to lean in on a rig. So Larry, you are someone who has a really, wonderful perspective and framework within which you put what it is that you're doing. Of all the things out there in the world, in the cryptoverse, as I like to call it, what is it about mining that grabbed your attention? I guess why mining? Why now?
Well, the way it was presented to me makes absolute sense. Things have to make sense for me. I don't have to know exactly how it works, what the intricacies are of it. But if I can grasp the principle behind it and it makes sense to me, then I thought, then I usually take a pretty good look at it. What I found is that, and this is from Jeremy. Jeremy's the guy who's the brains behind My Blockchain Life. And he's I mean, this guy, I don't know, I think he works 26 hours a day. I'm really not sure how he does it, but he, 6 years ago, he learned how to mine from a bunch of his buddies that were setting up a mining farm for Bitcoin. And he took his children's college fund, $75,000, and bought Bitcoin machines. And 6 months later, or less than 6 months later, he had made $3.5 million and sold the business. He owned 3 different businesses, all kind of contracting businesses. He sold them all and went 100% into crypto. And what he told me, he said, yeah, sure, you can buy Bitcoin and watch it go up, or you can buy Ethereum and watch it go up. But you can buy a Bitcoin machine or an Ethereum machine, and it pays you every month, over and over in tokens. He said, if you look at Bitcoin right now, it's like almost 60,000 US. You imagine buying a Bitcoin right now, and then the volatility of crypto. If crypto drops 30%, which is quite realistic, maybe even 50%. So if you just bought some Bitcoin at 60 grand and you wake up tomorrow and it's, or the end at next week and it's 30 grand, you go, wow. But you know what? If you're mining Bitcoin, you really don't care. You're producing Bitcoin, and as the value goes up and down, it affects your bottom line, but it's not that speculative game. It doesn't feel like you're gambling. It really feels like you're, just like you said, Jay, you're just going out to the money tree and picking it whenever you need a little bit of fruit, right? The really interesting thing is some of the statistics I've learned since getting involved with this. And that is that of all the people involved in cryptocurrency, only 10% actually are involved in the mining process. But that 10% own 90% of the crypto in the world. And that is huge. I mean, that alone says to me that this is the place to be. And, you know, when I first got into it, I thought, I don't know anything about this. You know, I know what Bitcoin is. I've kind of heard of Ethereum. How am I going to do any good at this? Well, you don't. That's the other amazing thing. You don't need to know a damn thing. You buy a machine and you let it work for you. Works 24/7. These little machines, these designer miners, we call them, they don't take coffee breaks. They don't take vacations. Um, and the other really cool thing is that My Blockchain Life babysits them for you. You know, there's a fee for that, but I mean, it's not expensive at all. It's $2 a day for your rig. And that covers it 100%. I mean, it could blow up, burn up, and they would just replace it with another one and keep you going. I mean, to me, it's I was saying this on the presentation the other day, that I've been looking. I got introduced to passive income, sources of passive income back in the early 1990s, and since then I've been looking and trying, and I know a lot of you guys are in the same boat. I know Shauna is for sure. So this to me is the most passive income I've ever seen in my life. You buy the machine and all you do is check your wallet. I check my wallet once a day and see how many more tokens I have created. And then of course it's a matter of waiting for the token to establish a value. Now I have Ethereum machines, and of course they have a value right now, right around going on $1,900 US right now. That's pretty amazing in itself, considering when we started mining Ethereum with My Blockchain Life, I think it was 130, 136, something like that. And now it's like $1,900. Amazing appreciation in the value of the tokens. And, you know, as you know, I'm no expert in this. I think I see Alessio's on right now, and you know, he is way smarter than I am about all this crypto stuff. You know, but for me, I really don't want to get into the nit noi of all these different things. I like the simplicity of mining, collecting tokens, and then cashing them in when I feel like it. And it really is a no-brainer. I mean, guys like Alessio can teach us a lot about crypto and all these different DeFi things that are coming out, and NFTs, and you know, I mean, there's so much stuff in crypto in the news right now. It's just mind-blowing, actually, and quite frankly, I'm at a point in my life where I just want to have fun and take the money I'm earning. You know, we have some philanthropic goals. We want to take care of family, friends, and that's another thing that I'm really quite I don't know, lost for words on the way the world's going right now financially. I don't know what you guys are like out west, but we're in Ontario. We're going into gray again, which is total lockdown. You know what? And in my town, London, there's, I don't know, 400,000 people. One person died in the last 2 weeks. And we're going friggin' gray. Everybody locked down, businesses closed, businesses closing for good. I mean, who has a small business that can afford to close for most of a year and keep going? So I see a lot of hardship coming for a lot of folks. And if I'm in a position, if Catherine and I are in position to help out, you know, just be good stewards of, you know, of the good stewards of everything. And the one thing I know you love, Jay, about My Blockchain Life is the green aspect. All of the crypto that's mined in Tempe, Arizona is done on solar power. And the crypto farm in Wenatchee, Washington is hydroelectric. You know, they have a large building right beside the Wenatchee River dam and power plant, and they get power there for like 5 cents a kilowatt hour. So, you know, you're not burning any fossil fuels, not polluting the air. And it's nice that all of the tokens that my blockchain life is mining is we're basically, we like to say we're printing green from green. And that's a really neat way to go to.
Larry, let's demystify for a moment people who are completely green. Speaking of green, what is mining?
Well, mining is, now Alessio will probably answer this one better than I can. It's, you know what, you don't need to know. You know, you buy a machine and let them run it for you and you collect the tokens. Who cares? But here's what it is in a nutshell. So mining rig, we call them rigs. They're basically little supercomputers. They're one purpose only. You can't answer your emails on this computer or you know, do a Google search or anything like that. It does one thing only. It solves equations, and it verifies transactions on the blockchain. So as these little supercomputers verify transactions and solve equations and algorithms, all that stuff, they get rewarded with tokens for doing that work. And the token is the thing that provides value. So presently I'm mining, I have BlockX mining rigs and I have Ethereum mining rigs. And so a BlockX mining rig will only ever mine BlockX tokens. The neat aspect about the Ethereum rigs that we have, that my blockchain life has, is that they are what we call chameleons. So we're mining Ethereum right now because it's very advantageous financially wise. Mining, I'm going to guess mining, the 300 rigs that I have are mining a token every about a month. So right now that's like $1,800 a month out of the machine. And that's a pretty nice steady income out of one machine. Unfortunately, right now, we can't even get the parts to build those machines right now. So you have to settle for something called an ETH 50, which was only a hash rate of 50 mega hash, which is quite low, but it's still, you know, it's only cost $3,000 for that machine, including the hosting, but you know, it only produces about $7 or $8 a day. Whereas the bigger machines are producing, you know, $50 a day.
It's a lot easier access for a lot of people to start with the smaller rig and then work their way into BlockX rigs or, I mean, that's one of the things I like about it. I mean, I think a lot of us would love to see the access to parts sooner than later, but I mean, it also speaks into, you know, the demand for these machines. I mean, the demand for these parts is just outrageous. So, you know, I know that MBCL has their hands on a lot of parts that a lot of other people don't. But having said that, I know the rigs are also flying off the shelf for the obvious reasons. What would you say is a caveat? What would you say if we do what I call the proverbial shite sandwich? You know, what's the negatives in your perspective on owning a rig or on getting involved here?
I don't know. You know, obviously it's not for everybody. I mean, it's not for everybody. I mean, I've met some people and I tell them about this, you know, good friends and family members, and they look at me like I'm freaking nuts. You know, what, you would spend $6,000 on a little computer for, you know, how do you know it's going to work? Well, you know, people, there's one saying I have that I love to use, and it works in so many cases, is contempt prior to investigation. And so many people I talk to about crypto mining, and they're like, oh, no. I mean, no, you know, that's, you know, I tell them it's like a money tree, just like you opened up with, Jay. You know, it's basically a money tree in your backyard, and go and pick the fruit on a daily basis if you want to. And they don't understand and they don't want to understand. And for me, I've always been an inquisitive person. I'm always willing to take chances and do things. And like when I first started, it's been over a year now since I've been mining BlockX. And I found out about this in late January 2020. We had our meeting down in Naples, Florida, the first week of February. I met Glenn Williams, and Jeremy unfortunately couldn't make the meeting, but he kept in touch with us multiple times per day on the phone. And I bought 8 rigs right from the get-go, and I knew diddly squat about the company. I knew diddly squat about mining. So all of my knowledge I've garnered in the last 12 months. What I went on was gut instinct and the people that I was dealing with. Carol Storms, who does the presentations normally. She's a good friend of Catherine's. And, I met her husband, Peter, at their house. And then I met Glenn Williams and talked to Jeremy on the phone. And you guys, I mean, if you've listened to any of the presentations that My Blockchain Life does and Jeremy speaks, I mean, it's kind of like those old commercials of E.F. Hutton. When E.F. Hutton speaks, everybody listens because this guy is just a wealth of knowledge, specifically in the mining field. That is his specialty. That's his wheelhouse. And he has his finger on the pulse at all times. So the things I love about being involved with My Blockchain Life is that these guys do all the work for you. Like recently, we just started mining Raven coin. And I don't have to go out and research all these different tokens and find out what they're for, what they do, blah, blah, I just get an email from My Blockchain Life and say, hey, we have figured out that Raven coin is going to be a worthwhile coin to mine for quite some time. Here's the machine. We've got 50 of them built. We're building the next 50 now. And if you're interested, get your order in. And, they tell you what the projected return is token wise per month, what your electricity fee is per month. And then it's just a simple number for me to do run the numbers and say, okay, looks like it's worthwhile. Now, to me, just to be specific about Raven coin, I don't like it right now because it's still speculative. It's still a low price token. And, it's kind of trying to steal some of the business from Ethereum as far as being a platform for other services. Would you agree with me on that, Alessio? You know more about that than I do. Yeah. But Raven coin has its own blockchain and its own platform, trying to do the same things that Ethereum's doing. But Ethereum is so far out in front. And I don't know if you guys saw the news this last week that Visa is now going to start doing their settlements on the Ethereum platform, with using stablecoin type of, I don't know which one, USDC, I think is what they were talking about in the news release. But yeah, Ethereum's got a really strong hold. The only negative about Ethereum right now is the fees, because of Ethereum expanding so quickly and so much action on it. The fees are really quite high. You can pay 20, 30 bucks to do a transfer on Ethereum right now. And that's big when it used to be. I remember that when we first started mining, it was like $2 or $3 was the gas fee. And now it's, 10 times that. So what was I saying, Jay? What was the question? I forget. I got
Well,
rambled.
I was asking you what's wrong with it, and you basically couldn't think of anything, and then you started talking about what you love about it again. So,
I mean, I wish there was a way to get everybody involved. I mean, My Blockchain Life has really tried to let everybody get involved. Hence the the referral bonus program, the commissions that you can make. So even somebody that doesn't have $3,000 to put together, they can if they've got some friends and family that believe in them and they can sell some machines for them, they can make enough in commissions to get a rig. And that's what these guys wanted to do. They wanted to make it open for everybody. In fact, because of the spare part, because it's not spare parts, but because of the Ethereum rig parts and all the different crypto rigs that they can produce, because the parts are so scarce, and because they want everybody to have equal opportunity here, they've limited any machine purchase to 10 right now. You cannot buy more. If you wanted to buy 10 Ethereum ETH50 Pros, they'd let you, but if you wanted 11, they're not going to sell them to you, because they want everybody to be, you know, to at least get their toe in the water, you know, and get started, you know. And that's what I kind of tell people is, you know, I don't care if you get one machine or 10, get started and see how awesome this is, and then enjoy it. I mean, there's nothing puts a smile on my face more than getting up in the morning, opening my MetaMask wallet and seeing how many more tokens I've got. It's like, wow, this is cool.
So I have a quick question on that. Because I have some people who call me, you know, I get a couple calls a day.
Yeah.
Jay, you know, money's tight. You know, I want to get involved in some things, but you know, there's a lot of people who are spread thin right now. Their businesses are being closed. They're looking for alternatives.
Yeah.
Let's just go down that road for a second. Because you know, that's a real time problem for people right now. If people want to get involved and start to share this, then what does that really look like with a nuts and bolts kind of breakdown? You know, as much as you feel is going to serve the purposes of this live. Because I know people who, you know, getting an extra $500, $1,000, $2,000 a month is a game changer for them right now, right? So
Yeah.
how would they do that? Maybe not knowing a lot about crypto, not knowing a lot about any of this. Do you have some insights and suggestions on that front for people who want to, you know, make some bacon right now?
Yeah, I would say it's going to be a whole lot easier in another couple of weeks when the exchange is on the verge of going wide open. So the BlockX token is worth a nominal 1 cent right now. Actually, it's trading just between BlockX mining people, and it's actually some people have been selling it at half a cent or 0.7 of a cent and that kind of stuff, because like you say, they're in it. Maybe they're lost their business and they need to sell something and they're taking whatever they can get. But when the exchange opens, there's no doubt in my mind it'll jump to 10 cents pretty quick. And that's not because I'm speculating. It's because I know that every exchange that is opened and has its own utility token has gone up and up and up. But we're not talking about the up to the Ethereum level or up to the Bitcoin level, but we are talking in the, you know, a $5, $10 token is not unrealistic to think of, and in fairly short order. So I think, Jay, when somebody sees that they could have a BlockX rig producing maybe 40, 50,000 tokens per month at 10 cents per token, yeah, I don't know. I'd take $5,000 a month from a machine that's selling for $6,000 right now. I mean, you know, even if you're making $500 a month, where can you put your money right now and get more than 3% interest? Anywhere. I mean, yeah, I mean, for John Q. Public, I mean, you know, we're not the kind of people that have, you know, these fantastic investments, you know, the insider type of investments where these people are making 10, 15, even 20% because they're, you know, like insiders. So this is just an amazing way to build your portfolio, to build your financial wealth. You know, you can start out slow. But getting back to your question, once we can put some numbers to it, Jay, I think it makes a whole lot more sense. Like I can show people right now Ethereum. Let me do a screen share with you if you don't mind. You okay with that? Okay. Oh. Are you able to give me permission to do that? It's not a big deal. If it's you got everything preset there, right?
Yeah, no, you're good to go. You're good to go. I'm really glad that you're going to break this down a little bit for us, Larry. So that's great.
Okay, let me see where I need to go here.
Yeah, I know a couple of people who've pooled resources and gotten a rig and just gotten started. I think that's the kind of the crutch for people right now is a lot of people are, they're not in a position to sort of invest and to acquire a rig in the first place. And so it's getting into it. For people who have the money, I think it's a no-brainer. I mean, as a part of a diversified, there's a tongue twister for me this morning, a part of a diversified portfolio, it's brilliant for all the reasons that you spoke about. You can step in without having to have a ton of knowledge. It's kind of built in for you. The rigs are cared for by someone who hosts them. The BlockX rigs are on solar. I mean, there's so many pros. But for people who are wanting to get into something like this, the price point at 3,000, which is the smallest rig available, is a bit of a leap. So from the standpoint of being able to refer people to daily presentations, which go every day at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, every day except for Sunday. That's still the case. Yes. From my understanding. Yep. Yeah. So people can plug people into those presentations. And then every time, if you've referred someone, just like you do with Amazon or pretty much everything these days, you get a referral affiliate commission, which is, from my recall, about $400 can be between $400 and $700. Is that right, Larry?
Yeah, the commission on the ETH 50 is only $100, but on a BlockX or a Raven coin machine, and the big ETH machines, when they come back, it's $400 plus there's something else called a binary bonus that you could be eligible for, which could bring it up to $700. So yeah, I like to just tell people about the $400, but yeah. So can you see my screen okay?
We're seeing your Proton mail, my friend, or at least I am.
You're not seeing my blockchain life? Hold on.
No, we're seeing your mailbox.
Huh. Okay, hold on a sec. Why?
So while Larry gets that sorted out, now's a good time to start to brew some questions. And Alessio, I know that you're DJing right now, probably, and so Shauna. But for those of you that have some questions, I'd love to get some engagement, some dynamic dialogue going with Larry, and just open it up a little bit. Because that dialogue is so good for people listening in, but it's also good for us here live to be able to get in there and roll our sleeves up a little bit and have a really good conversation.
Okay, do you see that now?
Yeah, we sure do.
The portal?
We've got a question in the chat from Peter. So whenever we're ready to open it up, we've got a couple questions coming in. Awesome, Peter. Okay. Thank you.
So anyway, I just wanted to show you this because once you have numbers that you can show people and, give some validity to what you're saying, it makes it a whole lot easier. So you can see here, this is my portal to my Ethereum machines. And you can see I've got in this shot, now this number 29 goes up and down as sometimes they take them down to fix them or reprogram them or whatever. But anyway, showing that I've got 29 miners working, and that's the efficiency. It gives you the daily, weekly, and monthly projected earnings. So that's what I've got coming in right now from these Ethereum machines that I bought back in September, October. So when the block, and we will have this same sort of presentation screen, this portal it's called, for the BlockX machines as soon as the exchange goes live. So to be able to show somebody that they can spend relatively low amount of money to have that kind of income, it's, you know, it's kind of mind-blowing for people. Let me look at the chat. Okay, so Peter's asking about, yeah, so the ETH the ETH 50 Pro, it's called right now, is $3,000, which includes hosting, and it is producing about $7 or $8 a day. And the commission on that machine is $100. The BlockX machine is $4,000 plus the $2,000 for hosting, so $6,000 total. But it produces a lot more tokens that unfortunately they just don't have a value to put to them now. But if you want to, you know, my theory behind that is amass as many tokens as you can so that when they become valuable, you know, you're basically sitting on a gold mine.
I definitely can feel, I'm getting that people are like, okay, we've got Raven, we've got BlockX, we've got Ethereum. Let's break it down for everybody so they can start to get some clarity around these different machines, and why they would choose a BlockX machine or why they would choose an Ethereum. I mean, as a shopper, I say get both, right? But, you know, let's break it down so they understand what they're getting and the driver behind each of those rigs.
Yeah, so the BlockX is the more speculative move here because right now it doesn't have much value, but you don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure out that it is going to have value very soon. So the great thing about the BlockX mining rigs is, you know, there's something in the mining community called degree of difficulty. So I'll use like Bitcoin as an example. There are millions of Bitcoin mining rigs in the world right now. I think, I don't know how, China's got like 60% of them, you know, and because they subsidize the power and all that kind of stuff. But there are so many machines mining, the degree of difficulty is huge. And it takes a tremendous amount of power and everything to create a token. BlockX, right now there's about 7,000, 7,500 machines running. And so the degree of difficulty is very low. We're going to be moving into pooled mining very soon. And when we do go into pooled mining, the token count is probably going to be in the 50 to 60,000 per month range. As the token value goes up, the number of tokens mined will decrease. But if you're in a position where you can mine tokens and hold on to them, and for those not into the crypto world, the term is HODL, hold on for dear life, the acronym. Wait for the token to increase in value. So if you look at it this way, if you're mining 50,000 tokens a month at a penny, that's only $500. But if it goes to 10 cents, you know, you're mining $5,000 a month. If it goes to $1, you're mining $50,000 a month out of one machine. I mean, you know, I fail to see. When you ask me about the negatives, I'm like, I don't know of any. I mean, the world comes to an end and the internet stops working, and there's a terrific electromagnetic pulse, and I mean, everything's done anyway. So who cares if you know if the blockchain goes out? So
that's definitely one of those things where I would say at that point, if it's gotten that bad, if you look for an excuse, you're going to find one, you know?
Yeah, well, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I just watched, does everybody know who Michael Saylor is? He's the guy that owns MicroStrategies, and he started out buying, he took his company's cash reserves and bought $495 million worth of Bitcoin. And then of course, Bitcoin like tripled over the next few months. So, you know, he looks like a genius. But I watched a new video from him today, and he is so pro crypto, you know, especially Bitcoin. He said, you know, we're in a completely new financial world, you know, and we're just in the very babies, you know, we're just a new baby in the financial world here that's about to really take over. And he talked about how fast crypto has taken a hold in the financial world, how it's, I forget the percentages he used, but you know, he said it took, you know, it took Amazon like 40 years to get where it is. It took Microsoft 40 years to get where it is. It took, you know, Apple 40 years to get where it is. It's taken Bitcoin 10 years to get to $1 trillion. That's what he used. He used the market cap of $1 trillion. So all these other companies took all these years. It took Bitcoin just 10 years. And really, if you look at Bitcoin seriously, it has done most of that in the last, well, since 2017, really. Pre-2017, it was still, you know, we're in the hundreds. And then it shot up nicely in 2017, went flat for a while, up and down, up and down. But now we're at, you know, pushing new highs at $60,000 US.
I remember when it was legalized, became legal tender in Japan.
Yeah.
You know, that was a big one. We kind of went, oh, okay, interesting. But when you look at market capitalization, it's pretty mind blowing, you know, as an asset class, it's really in its own class. What we've seen even just in this last year with the movement towards mass adoption, you know, with, you know, people, like you said, they don't need to know all the ins and outs of mining anymore to be able to play the game and to get involved.
Yeah.
People don't need to know or won't know what blockchain is. They'll just all of a sudden be using it. But the difference with the timing right now, I know a lot of people who feel like, oh no, I've missed the boat. And I'm always really clear to share with them, look, you know, the timing right now is actually spectacular. I mean, you know, had you gotten involved earlier, it was a little bit, you know, definitely the wild, wild west, you know, 99% of the projects and platforms out there. I really caution people, you know, to be very wary when they get into the crypto world, because there's, you know, there's so much money to be made, which means you get a lot of crooks coming to the table as well. So I always tell everyone, just take your time. You know, I've really taken my time with my blockchain life, watching, observing, and every other project and platform we've been involved in, because, you know, we've been in the trenches. When you've been in the trenches and you've taken a couple hits, you're like, okay, you know, who's behind the project? You know, what are they doing? What's the utility of the coin? What's the platform's long-term goals? Because there's so many high yield, high risk programs popping out right now, and people just coming into the space are getting burned. And so we're really passionate about, you know, finding opportunities for people to get involved where they can start to, you know, earn while they learn, which is brilliant, but also get educated on what you were just talking about, which is, you know, why this space is so fascinating and why it's not going anywhere and why it's taking over so quickly. I mean, these institutions are now coming in full force. This guy right here, which I know, Peter, you posted about in the CryptoTribe Thrive Hub. You know, some of us are big fans of it. You know, we all have a different perspective, but I mean, we can go and we can get gas, you know, and food and coffees and whatever now directly with our crypto. So people don't need to know necessarily how blockchain works. They're just going to use it. And a lot of people won't even know that we've made that transition into blockchain and that they're actually using blockchain.
For sure.
But it's better, faster, easier. So to position ourselves ahead of it, say with, you know, the speculation of Raven coin or BlockX, which could very easily do what Binance has done and then some. I love what the BlockX has done with the fees. I'd really love for you to just touch on that. I mean, I think that's huge, because people who are trading or people who are, you know, going to be using it a lot, you know, that's a huge advantage.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, April 1st today. And the month of April is going to be huge for BlockX. And as a result, my blockchain life also, because you know, you have to be in My Blockchain Life to mine the BlockX token. There is nobody else in the world has these mining rigs. So in the month of April, the exchange is going fully open. The things you're going to be able to do in April is, number one, go on the exchange, the myblockx.com exchange. Use your fiat currency to buy some crypto, so that'll be open. They're going to start with, they're telling me it'll be 8 to 10 different trading pairs. So right now, the only thing you can trade on the exchange is BlockX tokens and Bitcoin, but they're going to add Ethereum and Raven. And there's going to be a stable coin or two, and a few other Zcash and a few other the better known ones. And if you hold X number of tokens, and I don't know what that number is now, but I don't think it's a huge number, but if you hold that many tokens in your BlockX exchange wallet, you get free trading. There would be no trading fees. And this is really huge. The artificial trading bot is built into the platform. Right now, all the artificial trading bots that are available in the crypto world are third-party software. So let's say you have a Binance account and you want to use a trading bot. Somebody has built a trading bot that will work on the Binance platform. But what happens when the Binance platform changes, when they make some changes to their exchange software? Well, then that bot no longer works or doesn't work as effectively. But myblockx.com has created their own artificial intelligence trading bot within the platform. So they marry up perfectly. They work synergistically together. And you can only use that trading bot with BlockX tokens. And you need to load, so you buy your subscription with BlockX tokens and you load it with BlockX tokens to start your trading. So there's going to be a huge demand for the BlockX tokens right from the get-go. And that's happening in April. The other thing that's happening in April is I think the liquidity card is coming out. That card you showed, Jay, I believe that's one where you have to change your crypto to fiat, and then you can use it, correct? Or no?
We're still just learning. We're still just learning because they're making some changes. Yeah, so I'll keep you posted.
So BlockX Exchange is coming out with a card that we call instantaneous. It converts your crypto to fiat currency immediately when you swipe the card. So you don't have to preload a section of your crypto wallet or your exchange wallet. You don't have to change it, say, from Bitcoin into fiat currency so you can use it. This card will automatically take crypto from your exchange account, convert it to wherever you are, pesos, US dollars, Canadian dollars, wherever you are in the world, you can use that card just as if it was your bank account debit card, and it comes out of your exchange wallet. So, and we're being told the fees are going to be more like using a credit card than what some of these cards charge for fees right now, which are astronomical. So yeah, some huge stuff happening in the month of April. The other cool thing that they're coming out with is I guess they have thousands and thousands of crypto ATMs that they're going to be putting out all over North America and the Caribbean. So, and there's going to be some kind of program where you can become owner or part owner of these ATMs and collect a percentage off of that. So, yeah.
Never a dull moment in the crypto space, I tell you. It's just getting more and more exciting. So I know you've got a couple of minutes before you have to actually hop off to the formal presentation that you do on the hour every day except for Sundays. So let's take a couple of questions. So Peter, are you available? I know you said you were sort of in and out, but you did have, did you get your question answered sufficiently, the one that you had in the chat? And then Alessio, if you feel like unmuting, we'd love to hear from you as well as a miner extraordinaire. Say hello to everybody. Actually, Alessio is going to be on CryptoTribe Live on Tuesday, the 6th, next week.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, Alessio.
Hi, Jay.
Nice
Hi,
to
Larry. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, likewise, Alessio. I've been reading a lot of your stuff, and you're way over my head, buddy. I just.
I believe you have more to. You know a lot, you know, because I am listening to you, and you know more than you say.
Yeah.
In cryptos, definitely. You rock, Larry.
I know how to make money, and I love making money when I don't have to work so darn hard to get it. It's
yes.
That's what I love. Yeah.
And it's a lot of fun, also.
Absolutely, absolutely. It puts a smile on my face, and it's yeah, that's
definitely.
Yeah. You know what? There's only 2 regrets I have about getting into this, and the first one is I didn't buy more machines than I have. And the second one is I didn't start earlier than I have. I wish I'd have started Bitcoin mining back in 2015, you know, 2016 when I first heard of it. And, you know, because I went, no, that's all smoke and mirrors. That's just nothing, you know, the same objections you hear from people right now that I had those objections. And now I'm just 100% in. I got my hip waders on. Chest waders, actually. I'm into about this depth and just looking forward to the ride.
That's a good visual. I like that visual.
Yeah.
Alessio, what's your, I mean, I know that you're leaning in and starting to learn a little bit about BlockX and the miners, and I know that you've been mining for years now. Is there anything that you feel is important to add here, or anything that you want to contribute to the conversation at the moment? Being that you're kind of wading in like Larry is, nice and deep up to here in your waders.
Okay, well, I feel I share the same perspective of Larry about where the BlockX coin is going to go. For example, we see it on Uniswap, on Binance, on Energy Swap, on Pancake Swap now, and every coin that it's a tool. In this case, is going to rocket at some point.
Yep.
We have to consider the market cap because, for example, BlockX is I don't know the maximum mineable number of coin, but it's a
10
lot.
billion.
So 10 billion.
Yep.
So you have to consider the market cap, but considering that the Bitcoin is only 21 million coins mineable, and it's like way beyond the trillions in the market cap. So, and if you can compare BlockX with the Bitcoin, and they are 10 billion coins, it's very easy to make some math and say the BlockX have the potential being also a coin related to an exchange to get to, I easily say $60.
Well, I would be a very happy camper, Alessio. And with that, you put a big smile on my face, and I have to say, see you later, guys. But if you want to join us right now at 239-239-2239, I'll see you there. I got to go open that up.
Larry, yeah,
Bye,
thank you
Suzanne.
so much for joining us today, Larry. We appreciate you immensely.
Yeah, anytime. Let's
Love
do
you,
it again.
bro. Love you.
Bye-bye.
Hey, bro.
Good. Ciao, Larry. So everybody knows where to find the presentation. It's in the chat. Perfecto, Alessio. It's good to see you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's good to see you.
it's my pleasure.
Does anyone have any questions for, while we've kind of got Alessio's coming on CryptoTribe Live on Tuesday. So now you guys know who Alessio is if this is your first time meeting him. He's an Italian living in Chile.
Yes.
And he's been mining since what, 2012, Alessio?
2015.
Okay, 2015. So long enough that you've been in the trenches for a while.
Yes.
So you guys join us on Tuesday for CryptoTribe Live at 10 a.m. PST, and Alessio and I are going to dive into all sorts of interesting stuff Alessio is, yeah, he's a crypto maverick. He's hardcore. He loves it. Don't you? Yeah, look at you. You've got a painful story that always boggles my mind. Like if I'm ever feeling, if I ever take a hit in this space, right now I think of you, Alessio, and I think that you had what, 56 Bitcoin that you lost in the early days, right? Was it 56?
Yes, they were 56 Bitcoin, but it's nothing compared with the guy that bought a pizza for 10,000.
No.
The question is, I don't know who sold him the pizza, but what did he do with the 10,000 coins? It's interesting to know.
I think what's so fascinating is, and I liked that Larry started to put it into perspective, just how disruptive this technology is and how fast it's moving and how incredibly fast it's evolving. But it's becoming more accessible. You know, like back when you lost your 56 Bitcoin, we really didn't know. You know, we really didn't know what we had in our hands. I mean, certainly the guy that bought the pizza for 10,000, I mean, just had no concept, right?
No, exactly.
I mean, people are starting to get a concept now of like, okay, this isn't going anywhere. And it's been really exciting to see the masses of people coming in. So, you know, my passion is to help people get educated, because it's very overwhelming for people when they enter. You know, it's a different language. Where do I begin? Who do I trust? And so what we've been doing with great success, and I'm so happy to offer this, is a community. And what you bring to the community, I have such I have admiration for what you bring, because you bring, you know, a real authenticity that I appreciate. Yeah. So we look forward to diving in on Tuesday, and come and co-host with me anytime, Alessio, anytime. I love the dialogue, you know, because we keep learning. The more that let's say, for example, we're excited about a coin, you know, we have the ability to influence that asset that we own by getting people interested in it, which is amazing to me. It's like, if you, let's say Bitcoin, everyone knows Bitcoin. If you really love Bitcoin, and if you own a lot of it, and then you go and you talk about it, you're directly influencing your asset. I mean, never really before have we seen anything like that. But also the ability to educate about the cryptoverse in general just brings more people into the power of DeFi and decentralization. And, you know, really for me, I think it's a huge freedom movement and empowerment movement for people to become their own banks out of the controlled centralized system. I mean, that is a game changer. Right? So you and I've talked about the Changemaker coin and all the exciting things coming forward. And I want to get all of us on a call where we can talk about how to move forward with some of the humanitarian projects. Sean Maloney, just on our last CryptoTribe Live, was talking about the ability to, you know, fund these things by, say, for example, getting a mine, and then whatever project you want to support, they just exist off of the gravy, the cream that comes off of that machine, right? You give them the nut and then it just produces. This is a new concept for people who want to, you know, go into communities or support projects. Instead of, you know, giving them a fish, you're teaching them how to fish in building an amplification of assets. So I really want to have a CryptoTribe Live where we talk about the different ways that we can start to weave that in as well. And I'd love for you to be involved in that, Alessio. That would be, I know you have some neat ideas and about that. And I hear you and Waldo are up to some interesting things in Espanol.
Yes, we want to help people do the same. I mean, there is a lot of people who are listening to MTF, NFT, and the blockchain and altcoin and crypto and masternode and staking and liquidity providers and Uniswap and so on and so forth, you know. And there is a lot of mess inside the people's head, and we want to, especially here in South America, we want to educate a bit about what's going on and how they can jump in, because the people which say, oh, I lost the boat on Bitcoin, they will always lose the other boat. They lost the boat on 3K Bitcoin, then in 50K Bitcoin, they will lose the boat again to 50K Bitcoin. So the point is, at some point you want to jump in or stay out of the play forever, you know, but then don't blame the blockchain or don't blame people that jumped in earlier and stuff. So we want to educate in Spanish.
I think that's amazing. Congratulations, by the way. I think what we work to do too is demystify it and remove some of the fear that people have around it because it's the unknown. So as soon as they get that education and start to learn, it's very empowering. And then they develop the courage and move out of fear to start to get involved. And so we work to help people on ramp, right? It's like, how do we help kind of the mass adoption on ramp? And that's a goal of ours, is as many people as we can help support to come into the space, you know, so be it. And we have a lot of Spanish speakers. You know, I used to live in Chile. We have a lot of people in Mexico. So I really look forward to plugging them into you, because I mean, if first language is Spanish, there's nothing sweeter, right, than hearing it in your own language. Sí, es la verdad. So, all right, you guys, Alessio, con mucho amor, mi amigo. So we're gonna wrap it up there. Yeah, we'll wrap it up there for this live. It's on the hour. And for those of you that want to learn more about Ethereum generation through a smart contract, Elizabeth Gratz from our team is opening up this room at 11 o'clock-ish, which is now for that call. So we'll see you guys on that call. I'm gonna wrap it up right there, you guys. May the force be with you.
Thanks, everyone.